So we're going to have a Community Stories Day. Before that, I want to make one announcement. I'm not sure when I do it, so I'll say now that Northwest Dharma News, we just went live, the winter issue, and it includes, among some really amazing stuff about your Dharma sisters and brothers in Washington and Oregon, but in particular, a piece about Clear Mountain and finding the land. So it might be worth finding that. You might share it with friends, and it's free, put out by Northwest Dharma Association, brings all the Dharma groups in the region together. So Community Stories Day is kind of a lovely tradition that the monks started, which was an opportunity for people to share about their own journeys for about 5 minutes or so. And come up here, I'll get out of the way. You grab the mic, the camera's pointing at you. I think you have the option of not being put up later if you want, but it is live. But it's just a lovely way for us to hear from each other. And everybody has some spark of wisdom in their journey that'll resonate with someone else. And, let's try first with people who haven't spoken before. Would be good. So someone who hasn't done this before, don't be shy. Yes?
It's not going to be put up. It will be recorded because it's on streaming, but the Ajahns just want to listen, but it won't be, so people don't need to be worried that they're going to be
Thank
exposed.
you. Yep.
Okay.
So now you can really let it all hang out. So what do you think? Any brave volunteers? Break the ice here? Just a real chance that there's no right or wrong, just everyone's got a journey, and to share that is a real gift. Okay.
Okay, I don't have to go up there. I don't have to go up there.
Yep, coming up here.
Okay.
People got to see it. I'll get out of the way. If we can get up, yes. Do we want to share? Something might be. You need a chair?
No, I'm okay. Thank you. Hi, dear Sangha. I figured I would break the ice as a teacher, especially I taught kindergarten and early childhood for a long time. It's just my thing when the room is quiet. I'll jump in. So, I came to the Dharma. Bernie, thank you. And I came to the Dharma, I don't know how many years ago, it's been at least 12, because I remember I was teaching first and second grade, and there was a lot of conflict at the school between staff members and people running the school, and somebody that I cared about deeply I had a ramp up to my classroom, kept coming up to the ramp and really wanted to dive into the problems, and I don't know, I just felt so de-energized because I really love being with children and it's a lot of energy, and I just kept feeling like, oh gosh, I really want the energy to be around supporting my students. And it's funny when I say it out loud because I'm like, this is a really funny reason to find the Dharma. She was texting a lot and always finding me on the weekend, and I guess if I had better boundaries, I would have never found the Dharma, because I was like, you know what? I don't go to church because that language hasn't spoken to me, and I wonder if I could find some meditations or something to do on Sunday. And it led us to the Kadampa Meditation Center in San Diego. And I really, really, really connected with the teacher, Choki, who I really just appreciated, a woman Dharma teacher. It always is a language that speaks to me. And then she was relocated because that School of Buddhism doesn't want you to get too attached to the teacher. And then we just, my husband and I have been great readers of Thai Thich Nhat Hanh, and we discovered that Deer Park Monastery was within a 45-minute ride, and that was our Sangha home. And it's just weird how the world works. I was walking down my street, coming back from yoga and pulled a muscle, and I'm not good at self-care, and I never go in and get a massage, but my neck was like cramped, and the man who took care of me had just left Deer Park Monastery as a brother, and was like, I'm starting a Sangha here in your hometown, like this little small town, and so we didn't have to go 45 minutes anymore, and so he is teaching in the tradition of Thich Nhat Hanh, and which I love, the engaged Buddhism, and so then we've moved from San Diego, and we were looking for a home, because we've been here since July, and we can't go to Deer Park, and we're watching Tara Brach, and I just believe the world kind of brings you there, and we encounter the Ajahns, and their energy is so pure and so wonderful. And then when we came to the Sangha, I have to say, I said this out at the land, like, all of you here really embody a Sangha of any Sangha we've been part of. Like, we have felt so welcome, and it just really feels like a really wonderful place to spend our Saturday. So thank you very much. Thanks. Feel very blessed to be here.
Thank you. What was your name again? Bernie. Thank you, Bernie. Okay. Okay. So the ice is broken. Who else would like to? Yes, please come on up. And your name is? I'm Milo.
Hello. My name's Milo. It's good to be here. My journey, well, I just moved up here from Portland, Oregon. I have lived at a Zen center in New Mexico for a while, and then when I left the center during the pandemic, I found the Thai forest tradition. I found Ajahn Lee and Ajahn Chah, and as well as I love Ajahn Jeff. And actually the first book on Buddhism, when I was like a teenager, I just found Ajahn Jeff's Wings to Awakening, and I was like, what is this? And if anybody's read that, it's like really heady, but it was incredible. And then it kind of came back to that, and I was like, oh, this stuff is amazing. And so I was kind of just practicing alone in that tradition for a while, especially in Ajahn Lee's meditation style. And then I found Clear Mountain, I think, online, and Ajahn Nisabo, and Kovilo, and I was like, these guys are incredible. And they came through Portland, and I still remember the first time I introduced myself to Ajahn Nisabo. I went up to him, I'm like, hi, I've been following you guys for a while online, and it's really nice to meet you. And he was like, great, so when are you gonna move to Seattle? And I was like, whoa. How do you know I wanted to move to Seattle? Because I'd been thinking about it for a while, and so I finally kind of taken the plunge, and I came up here to work with several teachers, but as far as like the Buddhist Sangha goes, really important for me to be close to them. For your practice, it's really helpful to be around a monk, I've found, or monks and nuns. And yeah, so I did the kind of all-night morning sit on New Year's, like I did the year before. But last time, it was really sweet, because last time I had to drive up from Portland, and I'm like, I live here now. I can just go over there. And so, yeah, I'm really happy to be here. I'm happy to meet all of you. And I work weekends, but I'm going to try and make it here when I can. And I hope to see all of you. And please introduce yourself to me, because I want to meet the Sangha. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Milo. Isn't that amazing to see the amazing evolution of people on the journey? So how about another two, maybe? Pardon me? Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Anybody on Zoom? Thank you. We are a team here. Maybe not. Yes, sir.
Hello, my name is Jack. The idea of speaking to a crowd of people without any preparation whatsoever, just terrifying, but that's all right. Growth experience. I am so new to all of this. It's actually kind of shocking how quickly it's happened. I grew up in the church, in the Christian church. My father was a pastor, tiny little church, tiny little mountain town in California. So I spent time there, and then I went to this really massive mega church in Northern California. And so like I've kind of like the whole spectrum of that world. I spent countless time there, and I tried really, really hard, and yet like it just never really spoke to me, and I never really understood what was going on in the minds and the hearts of the people around me. And that caused a lot of pain. And so then I finally kind of, I fell out of that practice, and then kind of had a couple of years where my heart was really, really hard, and it was just, that was really painful too. Just kind of be like, oh, I guess, everything is meaningless, just that kind of like that nihilism, that pain and the regret and all that stuff, and it was a hard time. But then I started to just kind of explore anything and everything, all different modes of thought, and Buddhism. It started as just kind of a mild curiosity, just kind of a part of the whole picture, and yet like something about it just kept calling me. It just kept it was amazing how every time I looked into it, every time I opened a book, I would read things, I would discover things that just it felt so right, and it felt like a lot of my own conclusions that I had come to about just kind of everything. It was incredible to see it reflected there, and then new things that I hadn't considered, and yet it all just, I don't know, it all just made sense. And the transition from just researching and being interested to actually practicing, I don't know, it was subtle and yet sudden. I don't know if that makes sense, but I just kind of found myself doing it. Just last year, I started going to a meditation group, a tiny one in West Seattle, and that was really wonderful, and it was such a small thing, and yet it had such a big impact. And then just a few weeks ago, I came here for the first time, and I don't know, it almost, it's the three jewels, and the Sangha really is important. And so it kind of feels like the first time I stepped through those doors, it's like something changed. It's like something completed. It's like it finished growing inside of me. And even just the last few weeks have just been amazing. Yeah, I went to the vigil. It was kind of a life-changing experience. And it's just, I don't know, it's just so much. I feel like I can't even put words to it. It's so much so fast, but I just want to say I'm really happy to be here, and all of you are just so lovely. I don't know, I got nothing. Thank you all.
Thank you, Jack. Wow, all of you are so inspiring. And maybe, it could also be someone who's spoken some time ago who feels some fresh something that they want to share, even a year or so ago or whatever. But I think it is beautiful to hear these stories. So who's next? How about one more? It's a gift. Remember, it's a gift to others. Okay. Oh.
My name is Marlena. I met the Ajahns, fall of 24 maybe, when they did an outdoor meditation in connection with Forterra, and that was what interested me and brought me to the Sangha. And I really appreciate you all. It's been really lovely. I came to the Dharma sort of by accident. I was a devout Christian for many years, and stopped following that path because of the homophobia and violence and misogyny in the history of the church. And there was a point at which I just said, I don't feel like going to church, and I'm not going to go back until I feel like it. And I never felt like it. And there was a long gap where sort of nothing happened. And in architecture school, I started, that's the time when you look at architecture and art from all over the world. And I started seeing all these amazing temples and all of this amazing Buddhist art in places like Borobudur and all of these statues of the Buddha, and I was like, this person, clearly, this is peace. What's going on here? And I remember a day at lunchtime, probably summer of 1999, I had bought a copy of the Dhammapada, and just this moment of clarity when I read the words, life contains suffering. And I have been on this path, probably fits and starts, for all the time since then, and I'm really grateful to have found this Sangha. Every day in meditation, bowing to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. I've never had an actual Sangha. It's always been sort of these people out there. So I'm very grateful to be here with you all. Thank you.
It's funny, as assuming rebirth is true, which I, at this point, pretty much do, I'm just kind of awed hearing these people step forward and feeling like just lifetimes resonating of exploring and interweaving with all of us. Who knows what connections we may have with each other all along the way. So it's a very deep, deep journey. So thank you. This is a pretty beautiful. So anyone else, if you're so moved? If not, we have a plan B, and we can also wrap up early if we need to. But if someone has almost wants to share a story, yes, sir, there you go.
Hello, everybody. Thank you all for having me. My name's Kyle. This is my first time coming to a Clear Mountain gathering, or honestly, first time coming to a gathering of any religious kind in probably about 6 years or so. So a little out of my element here, especially speaking in front of a crowd. I haven't been in front of a crowd since probably college, so sorry if there's a little nerves. But I just wanted to introduce myself to everybody. A little bit about my background. I first learned of mindfulness from a secular and Western and practical perspective about 6 years ago when I was suffering quite a bit from some depression. And I saw the utility in the practice, and it really helped me get through a lot. And then over those 6 years, sort of fell out of the practice. Felt like, I didn't really need it anymore. I just felt okay again and sort of let it go. Within the past month or so, I picked up a book off my bookshelf that I had there for a while that I had been intending to read, called Mindfulness by Joseph Goldstein, A Practical Guide to Awakening. And it was the first book I had ever read and the first thing I'd ever really heard that talked about mindfulness from a actual Buddhist perspective, talking about the Dharma itself. And sorry. And once I had read it, just something immediately clicked in me. I couldn't even. I was completely, I guess, shocked by the the truth and the wisdom in the words that I was reading, and I just felt very inspired to learn more. And that's only been about a month ago now, so I'm still very, very new to all of this. I don't know a lot yet, but I realized pretty quickly that I wanted to find community of other people who saw the truth and value in that as well. So just wanted to say, introduce myself, and thank you all for having me.
Well, welcome to all of you new folks. And that is Mindfulness by Joseph is a wonderful book, highly recommended, and also linked to that sort of as Satipatthana by Analayo, because Joseph refers to that book. They're both extraordinary books about this practice. And as Joseph, it was 46 sessions on Dharma Seed that he gave. I think it's 46, right? No, but there's one particular section on that book. 46 on the Satipatthana, so there's a deep dive there. Okay. Whoop. So maybe we've run our course on that, unless there's one more person. There's a plan B. Oh, thank you. Someone on Zoom.
Hello, my name is David Hager. I'm 73 years old very soon. I really don't know how to answer the question about coming to the Dhamma. I feel like more accurate way of understanding it is I woke up to the Dhamma that's always been there. And I was, from the very beginning, kind of a spiritual kid. I was interested in nature. I loved going to church for the music, didn't care too much for the liturgy, but loved the spirit of connection that I found there. And then my life has been long, so there's a lot of things that have happened, many dramatic events. Some of them, like Mark Twain said, I've been through many terrible things, a few of which actually happened. And I see Dhamma teachers everywhere I go. That's been the most recent, insight for me is look around the world and I look at people, they may not have read any literature, but they live kind, thoughtful, mindful, gentle lives. And it reminds me of someone who was shocked when someone offered to give them a kidney out of the blue for a transplant. And they said, and he doesn't even have a spiritual program. And I had to laugh a little bit because, you guys are everywhere. There's Buddhas everywhere. We need Dhamma teachers, mostly by example, all the time. The most recent thing that's come to me, I've been really trying to address this question of releasing the bondage of self and non-self. And it comes up everywhere too. By the way, it goes all the way back to the Bible if you're interested in other traditions. A lot of things relate to that, but it's very easy to talk about, but it's really challenging to let go and to allow a little bit to fall away. It was Meister Eckhart I was reading this morning, one of my favorite spiritual teachers from another tradition. He said, if you can experience the letting go or the really a loss of self for but one moment, you'll experience bliss. And he's singing the same song, as Buddhism. And I don't want to talk too much because the real reason I did this was to encourage somebody else who might be thinking about it to have a moment to think about it and share, because whatever comes out of anyone's mouth here is going to be something that's valuable to me. I will say that one little thing that's really been very helpful lately is I've studied a lot about mushrooms and about a book called The Entangled Life. It has to do with how, just for an example, many people know about the mycelium, which is this vast network of what the fungus really is underground. And from time to time, mushrooms pop up, and they're merely fruiting bodies sent up to share their spores. And I feel like I want to be a fruiting body for a short period of time. This greater Dhamma, the wisdom, the mycelium, the universe, whatever, has allowed me to step up and sit around and be here and to release the spores of metta and the spores of mindfulness and wisdom to the extent that that's possible. So I guess my overall point here is I'm just profoundly grateful to be alive and to have a human consciousness and human birth. And the Dhamma is endless and it's everywhere. And I just bless everybody who comes here in seek of love and truth, in seeking love and truth. And I just turned this into a Dhamma talk, but hey, well, that happens sometimes. I can't help it. So God bless, Buddha bless, and the Sangha be with you. Amen.
Well, thank you very much for bringing the mushroom metaphor to us. And where are you calling from?
Oh, I'm just out on Bainbridge Island here. That's
Okay.
been here about 25 years. But before that, it was Hong Kong for 10, New York, San Francisco, Minnesota, Michigan. I'm a kind of a transplant.
Good. Well, welcome. Welcome. Okay.
May I say
The
one more thing to acknowledge Steve here?
yes.
He's going to get embarrassed by it, but the Northwest Dharma News is an incredible gift to us here. If you haven't looked at their website and all the things that they try to bring together, it's absolutely amazing. And Steve has been a gentle and loyal steward of that for many, many years. Thank you, Steve.
Well, you're welcome. Thank you. And he's right. The only other organization like it in the world is the European Buddhist Union. And so here in the Northwest, we have this incredible gift of the Dharma groups knowing each other. And a lot of places are so siloed. I mean, like in New York, there could be a Dharma group, around the block, and they don't even know each other is there. Here, people are really connected. So it's just an incredible strength and a grace and a wonderful thing. And so thank you for that acknowledgement about Northwest Dharma News. So the monks had the idea, unless there's one other person that wants to speak. Okay, so they had the idea that we could do a little saraniya sharing, and don't have to come up here, but just more popcorn style. Alex, maybe if you could help with a mic. And so the idea would be, it was the beautiful thing about a commitment many people have made to have some form of sharing food, of giving in these coming months. It was something that Ajahn Nisabo kind of suggested for his birthday, is that people could also find ways to sort of cohesively or systematically give food or whatever exactly moved them. So could we hear maybe a few stories about what y'all been doing? And please stand up, and we'd love to hear. Okay, so please stand up if you wish.
Hi, I'm Jen, and I just want to express extreme gratitude to whoever left those $10 $100 bills at the back of the room a couple weeks ago, because it had a profound effect on me, and I carried it around for a while. I forgot it was in my vest, and that was New Year's Eve. I'm like, oh, crap, I want to go find somebody. And we had a sunny day that day, and so I wanted to round out the year with a bike ride, and it took only 2 blocks to find a gentleman sitting on a stool with a sign and a big empty beer can next to him. And I was concerned, am I going to give this to someone who's drinking? And he had 2 prosthetic legs, and he had just gotten out there. And his name is Charlie, really nice guy. I said, Charlie, where are you going to be tonight? He said, well, my girlfriend's got subsidized housing, so we're going to hang out together. And so we chatted for a little bit, and then I kept riding, and I went underneath an overpass with a big sign that says, need food. And I thought, all right, well, I'll bike around, and then I'll get some food and bring it back to whoever this is underneath the blanket. And then I kept biking and ran into a couple of other homeless folks, each setting their beds under an overhang of a bathroom in a park. I thought, well, I'll grab some food for them too. And so I'm just really grateful. The story goes on, but I'll spare you. I'm just really grateful for whoever left that money in the back of the room, because it just opened my heart more. And I subsequently started making sure that I gave almonds to the squirrels in the morning before I ate. So, thank you.
Anybody else share their Pariyakan? It's this word, saraniya.
I think it was maybe about a month ago that Ajahn Nisabo had mentioned that we should try to develop relationships with the spiders in our house. And that's, when he said that, it had probably already been 2 years of me trying to do it. And my partner has already got a really loving relationship with the spiders in my home, but me not so much. But yesterday I just got back from being away from the holidays and was unpacking some stuff, and I saw the spider behind my bookcase, which I hadn't killed, jump out and grab this fly that had been buzzing around and then return back into its corner. And in that moment I said, okay, you and I can get along. So just appreciation for that spider practice in case anyone else has been working on it.
That's amazing. Loving all beings, that's why we feed them. So any other saraniya sharings? Okay. Yes, one behind you, Alex. Online, thank you.
I can share. I have been really enjoying cooking for some friends who have, particularly one friend locally who has cancer and is going through chemotherapy. So I've been making delicious pots of soup and muffins and stuff every week or so. And with people I don't know, I've been making more of an effort to make eye contact and say hello.
Thank you. I think there's is someone else coming up? Is that what's happening? Okay.
Yeah. Hi. I still have the $100. I've been staying home a lot. My little dog is having health problems, so I haven't been out very much. But it has changed since we wrote the note to sharing with Ajahn Nisabo for his birthday. I've just been daily looking at how I can help someone else or have an act of generosity. And it's been coming in many, many different forms. And I've got this little bracelet on that during this time, I had metta engraved on it as a reminder. So if I'm out in traffic or something displeases me and I'm having a hard time, I just look at the bracelet and it's a good reminder. So yeah, lots of opportunities constantly for me to open my heart, to be generous, and help others when I can. It comes in the form of a smile, comes in the form of letting somebody in front of me in traffic, giving somebody groceries that has a family that needed help. Many, many opportunities. So I'm very grateful also for the donor that left this money for us. Even though I still have the $100, it's propelled me to do more. Thank you.
Thank you I hope your dog feels better.
Thank you.
We meet down at the market sometimes for alms. Maybe I'm inspired to share that Eastside Insight, we've been turning Donna into helping for Metta in Action, which is the group that, who's the teacher at IMS? Carol, I can never think of her last name. Carol Wilson is one of the leaders in Metta in Action, which is a group that sends money to Myanmar to support nuns in particular, and also women. And as you may know, Myanmar is so messed up now, even to get cash into Myanmar is incredibly difficult, but they've managed to pull it off the last few years. So that's kind of a long distance version. And also based here in Seattle, Tibet Nuns Project is just finishing housing for senior nuns, or building housing for senior nuns. So other ways of giving that are just beautiful, kind of bigger, geographically, but then small. Locally is exactly the same kindness. So any others? And we can wrap it up early, there's, yes, please, over here. Two, wonderful.
Hey, I'm Sarah. I work as a nurse. Can you guys hear me? I work as a nurse with people who are experiencing homelessness, and so there's just a lot of opportunity to observe suffering and to jump in. There's also a lot of opportunity to get burned out and kind of like lose our presence. And I had a really interesting experience earlier this week around like perception and how I was like making some judgments around somebody and feeling really frustrated, and then was able to come back in my body and be more present, be like, what's actually happening? And the situation was, I was helping one of my patients who was in an emergency situation, de-escalating him. I was working with the police. And there was another gentleman who was in a wheelchair right behind us, and we were outside. I was like, this person needs to give us some space. I was feeling really frustrated. He was just like walking, like wheeling right behind me. And I just kept feeling more and more like kind of agitated, like, I guess he's just like really curious, like I really need him to like back off. I finish kind of dealing with the situation with my client that's in crisis, and then I just hear this small voice from this guy in the wheelchair being like, can you please help me? And his electric wheelchair had actually died, and he had been out there for hours in the rain, a 70-year-old man who was just very slowly trying to push this wheelchair that was almost all the way dead. And it was just such an interesting experience of me being like, can this person just back off? And then just being like so full of compassion for this person who like, people had just been walking by him all day, because I work in Belltown where there's just suffering everywhere, and it can kind of feel like you're like on a war front. So I was able to slow down in that moment. I'm like, yes, I can help you. And I tried to wheel him back to his low-income housing. It was very heavy, just like using all my strength trying to wheel this 400-pound, almost dead wheelchair. That didn't work. It died when we were halfway up a hill, and we're just both of us just like saturated, like soaking wet. And I was able to call the fire department and able to get some different assistants over there and get this man on a gurney and warmed up. And then it was a lot of problem solving trying to get this 400-pound dead wheelchair back to his house. But it just ended up being such a good reminder to me to like slow down. Why am I even in this work? It's like for those moments, and to be able to be touched like that. And just a reminder in my Dharma practice in general of like, I've been feeling, just been like really sick. I'm in my first trimester, just very, very sick every morning, and just very like agitated towards people because of that. And so I think just taking that moment of being like, why are we even here? What's the point of any of this? And that was such a beautiful reminder this week for me. So thanks for listening, guys.
Thank you. That was amazing. And this is going to be in contrast. First of all, does anybody know if any of those envelopes of $100 are still there? We don't know?
I don't think so. I know who took the last one. So
Oh, good. Okay. Well,
They-
I'm glad they all got taken. I've been aware that they were there, and I can be very friendly at the front door. I know who's coming in, and it's all very comfortable for me. But the thought of using one of those was not. And I didn't take one. And sitting here, not knowing if any of them were still there, I was thinking, the only way I can do this is if I invite somebody to join me, and we go together to distribute those. So that's, in a sense, a confession of my weakness. But I'm just glad they all were taken, And that's what really counts. So thank you to everybody who did take them.
I think we have someone over here. Is that right, Alex? Yeah.
I'm going to go over here so you don't have to twist yourself around. Not that I've got so much great to say, but the $100 bill thing inspired me. My name is Spencer, and I decided that I didn't grab a $100 bill, but I went home and I went to the bank and I got $100. Actually, I got $100 and $5 bills. And it's been really nice and really easy. It took a little bit of less pressure off, I suppose, but it's been an experience to have something that, just, oh, here, this is for you, and I make contact and get on their level and all those things, and it's been a wonderful practice. And so, I encourage you to find a way to do it. That's it.
Thank you, Spencer. Oh.
I just wanted to share along those lines that one thing I do whenever I get change, anything under $5, all my $1 bills, I throw them in the car in my little glove box next to my seat, and when I see somebody at a stoplight needing money, I just take out a few and give them to them. So it's really easy.
Okay. Well, these have been some very inspiring ideas for all of us, so let this be a starting point for many to continue, or a continuing point for generosity, the first of the 10 paramis, after all. And thank you. And how about a 3 sparkly Janasipo? He says sadhus for all this wonderful sharing on many levels. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay. So in terms of the chanting request list for people who have put their names up, this is a list, as most of you know, for people who are in transition or ailing, so that they can be, prayers can go to them.
We're pulling it up right now. For black cat named Spooky, still suffering from cancer, from John. For Alicia, just learned her cancer has returned, please send loving kindness, from Julie. For Chanyashon, fighting liver cancer, from Navi. For Kyung Cha, has stage 4 ovarian cancer, from Steve. For Rosa, recent discovery of a brain aneurysm, from Rebecca and family. For Alex, the family of Rosa, caregiver and father. For Pepe, experiencing recurrent colon cancer, from Rebecca and extended adopted family. For Rebecca, needing love and support given life changes and challenges, from herself. For Apamado, Upasampada, harder than initially thought. Please share merits in chanting. For Roshi Joan Halifax, recovering from surgery, spread love for good health for many more years, from the Ajahns. For Clara, perished in a house fire, wishes for peace and a good rebirth, from Dana. For Roku, Kanyo, and Tigger, recently passed mother, father, and beloved cat, from Nikki, Ravi, and the Ajahns. For Pippin, passed away on December 30th, from Kemsuri. For Steve Armstrong, beloved meditation teacher passed away this past week from Jean Myers. For Jeremy, please spread metta for Jeremy Basket, who was recently attacked on the streets of Manhattan and suffered a traumatic brain injury, from Matthew. For Albert, passed away on New Year's Eve, may his family be well and find peace. For Chanya Shon, wishing her peace and comfort while in hospice care from cancer, from Navi. For beloved dog Annie, for comfort and metta while having health issues, from Gail. For beloved cat Lucy, may she prowl again soon, from Cindy, Rudy, Z, and Stefan. For Nami, undergoing chemotherapy, please send for peace and healing, from Shirley. For Christina, starting a new chemo treatment for worsening cancer. For Apatamo, Upasadaman, merits shared with all Clear Mountain community. Thank you. For Steve, passed away on December 23rd, a wonderful Dhamma teacher, from Kate. For Mary Webster, injured and may need surgery, spread love, from the Ajahns. For 100 seized cats from Buckley hoarding case and their caretaker Leah. Owner needs compassion and help. Kitties need safe landing in new home, from Sandra Smith. For Marzapaz, passed away in his apartment, was just found, from Mike. For Ed, health challenges and having emergency surgery, from Hashito. For Mother D, 50-year-old son died yesterday due to car accident. Mother mourning while trying to care for sick partner, from Hashito. For Crystal, who passed away on January 6, pray for a positive rebirth and support for her young children, from Alex. And for Renee Good and family, mother of 3 killed by ICE in Minneapolis. May all protests remain peaceful, from Jean Myers.
Thank you for that. And also for whoever was in that emergency vehicle that just went by. And how about in your own worlds? Anyone here wants to just shout out a name of someone? Okay, Scott. Anyone else? Yes.
My father, Adrian Bone, preliminary colon cancer diagnosis.
Okay, Adrian, thank you. And also all of our sisters and brothers in the Ukraine and Haiti and war zones around the world. Let's just sit for a moment and send healing, loving thoughts to everybody mentioned. I'm having to refer to this because I can't necessarily remember. So Rick, I think a closing chant, yes?
Let's chant the verses on sharing the merit on page 34. We'll chant just in English. Now let us chant the verses on sharing the merit. May whatever living beings, without measure, without end, partake of all the merit from the good deeds I have done, those loved and full of goodness, my mother and my father dear, being seen by me and those unseen, those neutral and averse, beings established in the world, from the 3 planes and 4 grounds of birth, with 5 aggregates or 1 or 4, wandering on from realm to realm. Those who know my act of dedication, may they all rejoice in it. And as for those yet unaware, may the Devas let them know. By rejoicing in my sharing, may all beings live at ease, in freedom from hostility. May their good wishes be fulfilled, and may they all reach safety.
And in terms of people who have never been here before, 3 or fewer times, maybe you could raise your hand and shout out your name. Yes. So say again, please. Charles. Okay, welcome, Charles. And what does it say again? Sarah May. Excellent, Sarah May. So glad you're here. Yes, sir. Bob? Okay, Bob. Welcome, Bob. Somebody else. I see a hand back there. Yes, sir. Kyle? Milo. All right. I'm back over there. Yes. Louis? Ah, excellent. Yes. Bert? And over here? Jeff. So it's so beautiful to see the evolution of this community. So, you know, when we break up, go communicate with someone you haven't communicated with yet, perhaps one of these fine people, so we can all connect with each other. I think that's it. Just to say that everything's offered freely, and there's books back there. There's amazingly some food, even though there's no monks. How's that for generosity? And cleanup is at 11:45, but maybe a little bit sooner-ish. Okay. And Zoom folks can stay on for your own coffee hour. And yeah, I think we're good. What am I forgetting? Any more announcements? All right. I think we're good. Thank you.
Wave to the Zoom